Good morning and welcome to the AutoTalk Weekly Wrap. I'm Rich Edwards. That way is Graham McDonald. And today we are going to have a really short version. David Crawford is tied up and I had a drink or two last night and I've got work to do.
That'll make the show more interesting, Richard. We can go off script. Speaking of which,
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Your dulcet tones are coming through.
Okay, fantastic. How are you doing there anyway? You had a busy week selling Equus?
Yeah, I don't know. It's been, I depends who you talk to. Again, we say this every single week. Everyone seems to be saying the same thing. It's a little bit quiet on the ground. And funnily enough, it's not the car guys we speak to. It's all the ancillary industries, the panel beaters, the paint shops, we work next door to a paint supplier. They've said it's really quiet from the trade. But you drill down a bit further to the wider little West Auckland economy. Yeah, I think it's not great. As Dyatlov would say in Chernobyl, it's not great. It's not terrible. We're just sort of seeing things coast along a little bit. We would like a few more people out there, that is for sure. And that's what's missing. It's not necessarily that people aren't doing business. We're not actually seeing the volume of people coming through the dealerships in person, if you like, but also the online traffic that we did say this time a year ago. And that's the noticeable part where you can sort of track activity. Whether or not you sell a vehicle, well, then that comes up to you. Have you got the right stock or not? But we're just not seeing the same levels of traffic of just basic people.
It was interesting. We were at I was at an event this afternoon, basically acknowledging the changeover of management at Motorcorp. So with Steve Kentington moving to take on the Giltrap Group, one of the comments that were made there was that they're actually starting to see some green shoots coming out at the start of this year. Good inquiry so the year. Now, before you go, we're not seeing it here. Always remember that the luxury market and their Range Rover, basically Range Rover Land Rover, is always the canary, or generally is the canary, and it'll generally go up. Don't go down before the rest of the market goes down, or it'll go up before the rest of the market goes up. So interesting to see that they are saying they're seeing some green shoots. So yeah.
Well, let's
not getting excited yet. Not getting excited yet. Yeah.
No. The lawnmower's not ready yet, Richard. Well, you've had an exciting week, haven't you? For the viewers that don't know whereabouts you base yourself, you had a bit of an exciting weekend, didn't you?
Yes, we're in Mangawhai. So last weekend there was obviously a bit of a tornado that ran through there. Luckily, we're at the other end of town, so we were fine. But certainly, it's made getting around a little bit tricky. But these things happen. Interesting, we were out without power for quite a while. But I was able to pop down the road in my lovely BYD 803, charge it up on the plug and save charger at the Mangawhai Museum, which, even though there was no power, it has a 200 kilowatt hour battery in it. And so it can charge when there's a power cut. So I'd forgotten to charge because I'm an idiot. I was able to go down there, pick up some power, come back, and we were running the water pump and the air fryer and the internet and a few other basic things off the car. So EVs aren't totally terrible in a emergency.
Yes. There is absolutely that.
Right, now let's move on to some news for the week. New Zealand Cheap Cars announces new funding and further expansion. New Zealand Cheap Cars has opened its new national distribution centre in Penrose, Auckland. The company says the new distribution centre will streamline operations and support its growth nationwide. 2 years ago, by executive Michael Yang, NZ Cheap Cars has 4 branches across Auckland, has sold more than 5,000 cars and earned recognition from BuyerScore. The Penrose distribution centre will serve as the heart of the company's operations, improving logistics and enhancing the customer experience. Now, we all know that this company is in part a vehicle for Eugene Williams, and they are following a very similar pattern to what Too Cheap did there. Having a
I was going to say, Richard, you could cookie cutter the press release from 2CC about 7 or 8 years ago in exactly the same, and just here we are, just change the name, scribble out with a ballpoint pen with the same release, same sort of process. So I expect it actually almost as just a template for how things happened with 2CC, and we're seeing that same level of that pattern of growth and the pattern of release coming on through.
Yeah. Exactly.
And,
Exactly.
why not? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Why not? Because hell, it's worked for 2CC. So why wouldn't you then take that model and try and replicate it? I think it's probably a testament, a model that's found favour in New Zealand.
When does Croydon's get a distribution centre in 17 yards?
I'll just see if the boys are finished in the shed down the back, shall I? We can kick them out of the barn. Most
Tesla.
dealers, it's still just a lean-to. I'm sure in old school dealers, it's a lean-to shed at the back with a row of all the grooming product bottles hung over the purloins on the and the rafters and bits and pieces, and a stack of hubcaps in the corner, and that's your distribution centre.
Tesla Westgate showroom nearing fit-out stage. The construction of the New Zealand Retail Property Group's 18,000 square metre marquee centre in Westgate is reaching completion, according to the New Zealand Herald. NZRPG Managing Director Mark Gunton told the Herald that the Marquee Centre will be handed over to its tenants at the end of February. Last year, Tesla was confirmed as one of the new tenants for the Marquee Centre on Marquee Street in Westgate, which runs parallel to Gunton Drive. How many times do we have to say Marquee in the story? It's next to Costco Fuel, ironic for a Tesla dealership. Tesla closed its Ponsonby showroom on May 13, 2024, referring customers to its Tesla Auckland South facility at Kirkbride Road in Mangere. So I don't know whether it's easier to go to Westgate or Mangere if you're a Tesla owner in Auckland. The 28,780 square metre Tesla Auckland South facility opened in 2023. Interestingly, there's a photo going on social media. The Tesla Centre in Wellington got hit with some swastikas on its signage over the weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. We won't go into the political discourse in that particular argument, but it's irrespective of which side of the fence you sit on. Isn't it disappointing when that sort of stuff makes its way across to a couple of little hotheads over here as well? Doesn't matter which side of the fence you sit on.
Yeah.
And I was going to say,
arguably as disappointing as someone in that kind of position doing something that pretty much looks like a Nazi salute and then gaslighting everyone into being that it isn't. So
I'll state my quid's worth on that one and say, look, you can make of it what you will. I don't think there was ever any intention. I'm sure we all know that there was not actually intention for it to be that, but just with a man who is famous for having very few social airs and graces, i.e. none, sometimes doesn't necessarily do the smartest things when it comes to actions and motions. Anyway, that all aside, I was going to say a Tesla Centre in Westgate, it's going to be both a rod for their back and an ingenious move, because that particular area of Northwest, I live 15 minutes away from there. We're recording the show right now, 10 minutes from there. It can be a great location, but its devil side is there is just traffic hell getting out. You can get in and you can't get out. And it's one of the great design deficiencies of the Northwest Centre that Mark Gunton probably didn't touch on in the press release, was the turn down by NZTA to allow the off-ramps and the on-ramps to be constructed back to the Northwestern Motorway to allow free flow of traffic exiting the properties. And so if you're up there on the weekend or on a busy time around there, you know what I mean, it can be absolute murder to exit. And where the Tesla Centre is being built, which is next door to Costco is one of the big drivers of traffic. You just leave your car at home, like walk, take the bus, do something, because it's just such a mare to get in and out of that place. So at the end of the day, look, I'm sure they've thought those sort of things through, but I understand it's one of the reasons why a couple of the big box stores that we're seeing having gone south now didn't end up choosing Northwest, because the traffic management was just too difficult to work its way through.
Mm-hmm. Yep. IKEA, I'm guessing it's one of those. Right,
Maybe.
on to the next one. Business confidence rises despite weak demand, according to NZ Institute of Economic Research, if I remember that correctly. Survey, business confidence improved in the final quarter of 2024, with 9% of firms expecting an improvement in general economic conditions over the coming months, according to the latest NZIER quarterly survey of business opinion. That compares to the net 4% that were pessimistic in the previous quarter. Despite the more optimistic outlook, the firms reported weak trading activity, with a net 26% experiencing a decline in business during the December quarter. Although sentiment has lifted, firms remain cautious about hiring and investment. A net 70% of firms reduced staff numbers in the December quarter, the survey reported. Additionally, businesses are scaling back on investment in buildings and machinery, waiting for clearer signs of sustained demand growth before committing to expansion. So,
what you can unpack from that is nobody knows anymore.
yeah.
I mean, genuinely, nobody does. So I think you're just going to ride the waves, and if it's good, it's good, and if it's bad, it's terrible. But I can see there the point being made that everyone's being very cautious about investment right now. And why wouldn't you be? Because there's no clear signs of when that recovery wave will pick you up and take you with it.
LDV introduces a 7-year warranty for ICE and EV commercials. The LDV brand, it's now of course under Inchcape, is introducing a new 7-year standard warranty across its range of light commercial vehicles in the New Zealand market. A new warranty is a commitment to LDV light commercial vehicle buyers to keep them moving and deliver peace of mind for the coming years. So 7 years, 200,000 kilometers on ICE vehicles, and 7 years, 160,000 kilometers on EVs. I think the battery warranty is longer though. So yeah, that's pretty good. A lot of the time, some of the longer warranties, commercial vehicles, and particularly those sort of businesses, are excluded. So or at least they get a reduced warranty. For this to be that way, broader, is pretty impressive. And it's what has to be done by these challenger brands to an extent. LDV is still a challenger brand, even though it's been around for probably nearly a decade now.
What it's also pointing to, though, is actually thinking about that. Are we seeing a shift away from the traditional, 3-year warranty? It used to be the gold standard. Everything new, you had a 3-year warranty. That was kind of it. It's now almost at the point where if you've only got a 3-year warranty on a new product, you're a little bit behind the 8 ball, because these new brands coming on through are rapidly overtaking these. So the legacy brands are being overtaken by the new entrants. And for the public, if you're buying one of these cars we call it a new entrant, you may or may not be aware of how long they've been around. You don't have the knowledge that the industry does about brands and duration and where they've come from. You just see a brand new car, and a brand new car with a 7-year warranty. You look across the fence and say, why does that one not have a 7-year warranty or a 5-year warranty? Are we seeing warranty creep going on here?
Warranty creep? That's an interesting one. Yeah.
You can thank me for that term later. I'll trademark it. But like everything, and look, not so long ago, 1-year warranty was the stuff. I think my parents bought their last brand new car, which was a Holden Calais, which I was involved in its purchase, a VT Calais of all things. I think that had a 1-year warranty on it from good old Jones Lock down in Papakura. I'm sure that was a 1-year warranty, and that was kind of new cars had a 1-year warranty. So it's already happened before.
Yeah. Yes. It's a short warranty.
That was look at and for someone like me who keeps all the newspaper clippings and bits and pieces and Auto Traders dating back to, I've actually got an edition 11, I think, sitting in my little storage unit there somewhere of goodies. You've got some of the new car marketing material going right back to the day. It's interesting to see what was actually put out there. I'll dig some up for you.
Right, and last for the day, BYD's Stella Lee named 2025 World Car Person of the Year. The World Car Awards have named BYD Executive Vice President Stella Lee the 2025 World Car Person of the Year. It's the first time a woman has been named World Car Person of the Year, and also the first World Car Award win for a Chinese brand. Lee's been a key figure in BYD's incredible international growth during the past 12 months, which included a host of global model debuts, the brand's entry into new markets, and the company passing the milestone of producing its 10 millionth new energy vehicle. Stella Lee has impressed the World Car judging panel with her exceptional work as a key figure in BYD's continued global growth, says World Car Awards Emeritus Chair Jens Meiners. So that's a big win there for BYD. You can't really ignore the Chinese car industry.
Too big hat tip. And looking at the list there, some of the previous winners, that's a pretty prestigious list of previous award winners, isn't it?
Yeah, so Adrian Nui from Red Bull Racing, Sang Yap Lee, the head of Hyundai and Genesis Global Design, Luke Donkook, Chief Creative Officer for Hyundai, Akio Toyota, President and CEO of Toyota Motor Corporation, Carlos Tavares, CEO of the PSA Group, that's ended well. The late Sergio Marchioni from FCA and Hakan Samuelson, President CEO of the Volvo Car Group. Right, that was a short one this week, but it is a.
I've got something for you. Do you want a little teaser at the end, Richard?
Yep.
Okay, so don't ask how I came by this, but it's just one of those little things that you look at that suddenly Ian does it. So we always look at all these emerging brands, and we've talked for probably the last couple of years about what's happening with all these different brands in New Zealand and who's going to survive and who's not going to survive. So I did a bit of research on Trade Me about the 10 least popular brands in terms of listing numbers right now. So the brands that are bubbling under. So how many cars are listed for sale? Because you have a pretty good idea of what's hit on the road and what's doing it. Would you like me to go to this little list, and would you like to have a guess before I do that about who number 1 or number 2 is? So Trade Me has a listing of all the makes, the brands of cars. Okay, and then if you generate your listing from there. And it also gives the number under each listing. So if you go to search Toyota as a listing, it comes up with, I don't know, 5,500 Toyotas or 6,000 Toyotas. You go to Mazda, it might be 2,500. But it gives you an idea of how many vehicles are listed on Trade Me at any given time under that particular brand, right? So therefore, it then tells you, and then it tells you, therefore, how many have very few listings under their brands. The only outsider are the brands that are not actually carry a listing under Trade Me, but to put it under other, and that might be, I don't know, a Hupmobile or something like that, some sort of brand that no one's ever heard of that never turns up. Would you like to know what they are, and can you have a guess about who the leading bubbling under brand is we just don't see listings for anymore? Any guesses? Okay, all right. So I'll start up at the end. So what I call 10th equal, I suppose, with 6 listings each now is Genesis and Infinity. So they're still listed as brands, but we've seen 6 of each. Then we move down to Studebaker. Believe it or not, there are 4 Studebakers listed on Trade Me. Number 3, we have, number 4 or 5 actually. Cherry. There are now just 3 Cherries listed for sale in New Zealand, along with 3 Rileys, which will make the cloth cap brigade not very happy at all.
Yep.
In number 2, it's Humber, which once again, a good old British brand that must be still people listing Humbers for sale. And TVR. And I can't even think I've seen 2 TVRs in New Zealand, but there's a listing for TVR on Trade Me, and there's 2 for sale. Then the next one down, which is 1 car for sale in New Zealand right now, is Lancia. Great bit of Italian heritage there, but they've all rusted away, so that's 1 left. And the 3 equal with 0 cars listed for sale in no particular order is DS Automotive. I'm not quite sure how they've crept onto that list, but DS Automotive, Geely, and Daewoo. There are no Daewoos for sale in New Zealand today on Trade Me, and there are no Geelys for sale today on Trade Me either.
Going to change.
Brands are.
I'm off to Australia next month to drive the new Geelys. So
right. So that brand that might see some sort of reinvigoration.
Yeah. Well, they had 1 car here, 2 cars. They were great.
Right.
I don't think they admit that. So it's back. It's bigger. It's better. Interestingly, one of the questions we put to Steve Kenchington yesterday was, with Giltrap picking up that, does he see in the next few years that'll be the biggest selling brand for the Giltrap group? And while he wouldn't acknowledge it, you could tell that the great gears were going, and clearly that's something they expect in the near future, is for Geely ultimately to be probably their biggest volume brand. So we will see.
There we are.
Now, you're not with us next week, Graham. I assume we'll do a stream. I can't guarantee that because it's a very busy week. But hopefully everyone out there manages to sell some cars this weekend. And if not, then you go on holiday next week.
I'll be in the funny Marlborough Sounds. So if I knock through your car yard in Blenheim and say hello, that's who I am. But meantime, everyone, yes, the kids are back at schools. There's no excuse now to not actually get some activity with the parents. Say, thank goodness for that. The kids are gone. We can actually spend some time looking at cars instead, without little Jemima and Felicia looking through and kicking up Stinky instead. Come to the dealerships, buy cars.
Parents have money to buy cars. I'm looking at the price of uniforms and going, my daughter's first year at school and going, "Ooh."
That's why I was blessed to have my children sent to the basic old West Auckland school where they're grateful that you turn up in jandals.
Well, I had another dad point out to me the other day that you can buy all but 2 items of the menu of the uniform menu from Kmart for about 10% of the price of what the school wants. So
Yes, you can. A little known
yes,
secret, but yes, you can.
yes, yes. The funny
Good
thing
luck
about
with
my
that
daughter
one.
going to school is we ordered these days. It's all how much money can they extract. So we took the easy option of ordering through the school, the stationery that then is all nicely comes in a box waiting. And said to my daughter that she's not allowed to go into that stationery because I know she'll destroy it the second she gets into it. And you can see it is torturing her soul to not be able to get into that box. To the point where the other day she runs up to me in the lounge and goes, "Dad, I had an accident." And I'm like, "What?" "I had an accident. I fell on the box." And I went down to where the box was sitting in the hallway, and the box is sitting there partially opened. And she feigns falling onto the box, and as falling onto the box, pulling open the box, and it's.
Imagine a time,
Yes.
Richard, when a set of HB pencils was exciting. I'd love to go back to those days.
Yep.
With that,
Exactly.
back to school, everyone. Back to work. I'll see you all in a couple of weeks.
Catch you later.